dark. Real talk, hoping something new. Pull up a chair, this one's for you. Life gets loud, but we don't fade. Every dream is being made. We're brightly minded, hearts wide open, speaking truth. Words unbroken with Mindy, leading light in mind, faith and fire intertwined. We're brightly minded, shining through. If you're growing, dreaming, this is you. Learning as we go each day, finding purpose on the way. Laughing loud, standing tall. You're not alone, you're not small. No perfection, just real here. Every step forward, year by year. We're brightly minded, hearts wide open, speaking truth. Words unbroken, Mindy's here, so come on in. Let the journey now begin. We're brightly minded, shining through. If you're growing, dreaming, this is you. This is you. This is you. Yeah. Every voice matters. Every story counts. We rise together. No doubt. We're brightly minded, hearts wide open, living free. Hope outspoken with Mindy, lead and shine your light. Welcome to the brighter side. Yeah, welcome to Brightly Minded.
Why, hello there, my friends. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I'm just waiting for my husband to join him. I just sent him the link. So hopefully he's going to click on it and he's going to be able to get in. Because we have a lot to cover tonight. A lot to cover. I wanted to review, excuse me, I wanted to review Isaac's video that he did like in the middle of the night last night. It was funny because he invited us to join him, and well, he invited my husband to join him at like, for us, it would have been like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sorry, we're adults. We have careers. We're not staying up till 2 a.m. on a Wednesday night to join us stream because we have jobs that we have to get to in the morning and a child that we have to get off to school. There he is. You figured it out.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out things. Hold on.
Oh, okay. You're not going to be able to see the chat and the video at the same time. I learned that when I was in Smokey Stream the other night, and I accidentally backed myself out of the stream completely when I hit the back button, so don't hit the back button.
I call bullshit on this. I will find a way. I think I need to turn another light on in order for you to see my face.
Okay. You can turn the big light on. I'm not in there.
I am turning the big light on.
Oh, okay. You do that.
Let there be light.
So, before we jump into the big long video, because
My headset's dying.
Isaac spent 55 minutes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. My headset just is dying.
Which headset are you using?
Well, I was using my Bluetooth headphones. I got to plug these in, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to have your phone closer to your mouth so that we can hear you better. Or I'm just deaf, one of the two, whatever. But anyway, Isaac spent 55 minutes reviewing a 5-minute video. So we have a lot to cover. I have my notes and I have my husband here for the commentary because what Isaac is reviewing is my husband's video. Do you want to briefly tell the audience what your intention was behind making the video?
I mostly was kind of just antagonizing, to be honest with you. There was some legitimate like questioning behind what I was trying to say, but I didn't expect that he would have any legitimate good responses or any real responses to give to any of us. I mean, just based off of some of the content that I've seen of his already, he doesn't seem like he's all that bright of a guy.
No, absolutely not. No. And the fact that he sits there and insults himself in the video several times, saying he's not smart, he's a moron, things like that. The fact that he's embracing the lack of intelligence that he has, it screams to me that he has a lack of self-worth, like a major one.
I also kind of think along the lines of like the Dunning-Kruger effect kind of going on with this one, where he thinks he's a lot more intelligent than he actually is, but he tries to hide that behind some bullshit where he's like, oh, well, I'm actually not that smart. Like, it's fake humble. It's complete. It's a cover for narcissistic behavior.
Yeah. I mean, like, we've seen several times that Isaac lacks any type of humility. So I'm not surprised at all. And
Neither am I.
Watching this, so feel free to address him accordingly.
If you're listening, Isaac, two things. Number one, just to start you out, the videos that I've been making on you so far have been legitimately to antagonize the shit out of you. I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form. Like, I got what I wanted out of that. And I do really appreciate you making a whole reply video reacting to my my clip together. I even titled the video, what was it, like clusterfuck or something along those lines?
It was brain rot or something like that.
Yes, warning, brain rot.
Yeah.
Brain rot content.
Yeah. But Isaac doesn't seem to catch on to sarcasm like at all. And we do address that later in this video, but sarcasm escapes Isaac and he kind of misses the point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to add the video to the stage. And then we're going to make it big screen so everybody can see.
Yeah, I will say another thing, Isaac, is, dude, you need to learn how to, like, take your content and not make it fucking 3 hours long when you reply to somebody. Because, like my wife already mentioned, it was a 5-minute video, bro. What were you doing?
Well, I think part of that is because he spent a lot of the video like ranting and making arguments that had nothing to do with your video.
Yeah.
So he goes off on tangents and yells at the camera when it really has nothing to do with what he's reviewing. So he gets off topic very, very easily. And
that was some of what I was trying to show to him, was like how much rambling he does throughout his videos. Mm-hmm. And when I clipped together the things that I did, the way that I did, especially in the most recent video, is like, dude, you just spend so much time being angry and screaming insults into the camera. And that's time that you could spend actually arguing your point better. But I mean, you do you, bro.
Yep. Before we get started, I'm just going to throw up my disclaimer that the opinions expressed during this stream are my own and are shared for informational and discussion purposes only.
I'm going to grab myself a beer.
All right. So let's get started because, like I said, I have a lot of things to cover and a lot of responses to what Isaac said. So I don't want to end up, this turning into a 3-hour stream.
Hello. Welcome to another video of God's Integrity Pathways, where a lot of people think that I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I didn't notice the first time through the eyebrows. That is unnerving.
And I am a feminine male. But what we are about to see right now is what a feminine...
Did you catch that?
Yes.
I am a feminine male. I don't know why you would publicly announce that, say that you're a feminine male, and then turn around and use that in a derogatory way against someone else. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't seem like he has a lot going on in the brain department, so.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of crickets and cobwebs at the same time, honestly.
Quite possibly.
Like when he can.
What's that?
Quite possibly. I'm going to try round 2 with these headphones.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to play this a little bit while you do that. You might want to mute yourself so it's not noisy.
Consistently has feelings over concepts, because feelings outweigh the actual understanding of situations. So, Avon lady.
It's Lady Avon, not Avon lady. Avon is a company that sells cosmetics and clothing. It's Avon, not Avon.
BrightlyMinded, may I mind you, decided to allow her husband, wanted to say a couple things as well.
That point caught me because I didn't allow my husband to say a few things, because my husband is his own person. He's entitled to his own opinion and has the ability to share it. So he doesn't need my permission to do that, and neither do most people. So, I mean, maybe Isaac needs permission from his wife. I don't know. I don't know what their dynamic is, but not everybody needs somebody else's permission to share their opinions. That's not quite how that works. I don't know the dynamic between Isaac and his handler, but it is what it is.
Now he has lumped me in the concept of MAGA Christian.
He's lumped me in the concept of a MAGA Christian. You support Trump, which makes you a MAGA, and you're a Christian. So you're a MAGA Christian. Description fits.
Okay. I said God's in control. Do you understand that? He'll ask me a simple question about Biden, but you know what? I have a simple answer for that. So we can do this.
I bet you do have a simple answer for that one, buddy.
Talking if you want. I'll open my link for your husband, and he can come and prove that he's not a beta male.
Hold up here for a second.
Yep.
What time in the morning was this video streamed again?
Hang on. I don't know if I can find it. Let me see. He did it. It was after midnight for us, at least.
Yeah.
I think it was closer to 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Isaac, I don't know where you are in the country, but you were streaming at like
a couple hours behind us.
Yeah, you were streaming at midnight for us or later. I was asleep, so there was no way in hell that I was going to number one, see your stream at all. Number two, I probably wasn't going to join because I've seen previous videos of yours, and you don't really let other people talk on your live stream. So I'm not interested in doing that. You can come on a stream with us sometime in the future, maybe. But I feel like most of the time we're going to be muting your ass because you don't know how to shut the fuck up.
Basically, I had to keep removing him from the stage the last time he was in my chat because he just wouldn't. He would ask me a question. He would not give me the opportunity to answer it and would just keep on rambling. If I had just sat back and talked, he would have talked to himself for who knows how long until I removed him from the stage.
Which is, not surprising.
Yeah. But it's interesting that he sits here and he's inviting you not to have a conversation with him, but he wants you to prove that you're not a beta male.
Oh.
Yeah. But like the fact is that
what?
He wants you to come in to prove that you're not a beta male. You don't need to prove anything to him. If he has an opinion about you being a beta male, that's his opinion. That's his problem. It's got nothing to do with you. And it's also completely irrelevant to the video that you made or any of the talking points. This will become more relevant as we get into the video too.
Let's go, buddy.
All right.
Other than that, I'll just sit and I'll wait. Okay? So, and I'm telling you this as clear as day. You brought him in here and he brought himself in this situation, just like you bringing yourself in a situation you had no understanding about. Kind of seems like you two have the same thing in common.
That's going to come up later. A situation that we have no understanding about.
Yes.
We'll get into that in a minute. Let's go on.
Yeah. But I wanted to make a point that like Isaac can see this any way that he wants to see this. No one is stopping him or telling him that he can't. But the fact that he's kind of attacking you for voicing your opinion, he seems to have a problem with that. Because he has a problem with me because I originally came to him to talk to him and I asked him a question, and that just kind of triggered him to the point where he now cannot have conversations with me because he just goes off the deep end and thinks I'm attacking him.
Well, I think the big problem for him right now is that he really wants to believe like I'm this very fragile, very feminine person. But I look like this, and he looks like that.
I know, right? I guess I don't know that the dirt on his top lip means something, I suppose. I don't know. But the point that I wanted to make is that a real man is confident enough to come and speak about his opinions and about topics. And I mean, especially when his wife is involved. Why are you surprised that a husband is speaking up about something that involves his wife? But I mean, I don't think that that's something Isaac would do for his wife. So I guess I see where the disconnect is.
Let's give him some credit. We don't know that for sure, but I do get the suspicion that that might be the case.
Well, he's the one that's admitting he's a feminine man. So based on how often he uses the term beta male, and he does more describing himself than anything else, I think that speaks for itself too.
Here's another thing. This is just a quick point. Do you know where the term beta male like originally came from? Like there was a scientist who coined up beta and alpha.
Yeah, the alpha wolf theory or whatever, that the person that wrote the paper then turned around and debunked himself.
Yeah, he recounted the whole thing, and he's like, and anyone who's using this as like an argument for any species of animal whatsoever is an absolute loon.
Yeah, absolutely. Why am I getting notifications here? Stop it. All right, let's move on.
So let's listen to what this lovely man has to say.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, you probably didn't need any more evidence as to how confidently stupid MAGA Christians are, but here you go anyways.
My opinion. Confident and stupid. Did he just say Christians are, or did he say MAGA Christians? Let's double.
That was very specific.
So
that was very clear.
He wasn't. Yeah, you were very specific, but it just shows you that he wasn't paying attention the first time around because he missed it.
Check, make sure.
To how confidently stupid MAGA Christians are, but
MAGA Christians. Okay. My opinion is you don't understand the line. There's a difference. You try to make the line, you change the line, you make it okay for your standards, how your standard is, and you don't have an actual line that you stand by. No.
Can you possibly tell the rest of the class what you just said and
okay, so I will explain
what
that headache's already starting to come back.
For the class, since you want to be informed, here's the information, buddy. You guys set a standard. Now, based on that standard, that's where you stay. Now, if that standard gets taken away or forced around because someone does something that you don't like, that standard disappears.
Now, I wanted to address that argument directly because it's nonsensical. Because everyone has standards, and those standards will vary person to person. So, I mean, a gold star for him, I guess, supposed for pointing that out, that people have standards. But just because somebody violates your standard doesn't mean that your standard magically disappears. You still have those standards. You just end up being either upset or disappointed in the person that violated those standards or the thing, whatever. But like your standard doesn't disappear. He just doesn't make any sense with his arguments. That's like nonsensical.
I think that's like maybe the point is he also doesn't understand what the fuck he's saying.
No,
because he doesn't even understand what he believes.
No, I don't think he does either.
So if you need me to educate you a little bit easier, this is a little easier for you to understand.
He needs to make it easier for us to understand, baby.
If you could just like shorten your explanations down to like a sentence instead of being like 5 paragraphs, that'd be great.
5 paragraphs that don't even form a complete thought, though. That's the problem.
And are also run on sentences, but that's another thing.
Right. Okay.
I don't like this. Why? because it's not right. Okay. I don't like this because I feel wrong about this. Do you see the difference?
No,
No,
there really
those-
is no difference.
Yeah, they're the same fucking thing.
I know. They're the same fucking thing, just said differently. Like this. I know.
I think I understand a point that he was trying to make, which is like there are things that are morally justified as being wrong, as being bad, and that's like a societal thing. So like as a society, we've come to the conclusion that murder is bad because everybody universally doesn't like the idea of being killed or having one of their friends killed. Like that's a universally accepted thing. That's a truth, right? Whereas you saying like the N-word to somebody, that might hurt somebody's feelings, but it might not hurt somebody else's feelings. But that's
Right.
I can understand that, but still a really dumb fucking argument for you to make. Like that's
Yeah. And the thing is, you can have feelings about other people's standards. You don't have to agree with them. But you, as a responsible grown adult, are responsible for your feelings and dealing with that. It's not, if my standards upset you, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to help you, educate you, but if
So we don't need Isaac to educate us. What we do need, though, is we need him to do a better job of communicating his point, because when he jumbles his thoughts or he uses wrong words or mistaken definitions of words, his point doesn't end up making sense and people will misinterpret what he's trying to say.
you want to be a smart aleck, that's perfectly fine. That's why you couldn't comprehend what I said to you. None of you.
So because you're being a smart aleck, you can't understand what Isaac is trying to say, apparently.
I think that's the opposite of how smart aleck works.
I know, right?
You can, including Smokey. That's why he gave you kudos on this video. Anyone that says bad about me.
1 second, hold on. First of all, Smokey Saint, I don't know if you're watching this as well, but like Isaac, I don't have good history with Smokey. Me and him are not friends. Like, I don't really care one way or the other about the guy. I wish him well. I hope he's doing well with his life because I've heard that he's, not that bad of a dude. But we don't have good history. We're not friends.
He
gave me props.
He's just making the assumption that because I'm friends with Smokey, that automatically means you're friends with Smokey.
Oh, yeah, that's not
how
I guess
friendship
that's a fair,
works.
I suppose.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you and Smokey don't talk. You haven't, like, him commenting on your video today, I think is the first interaction you've had with Smokey in probably years.
Yeah, the last time I talked to Smokey, I probably told him to go F himself.
Right? Like, probably.
Hey, Smokey, whatever bad blood we may have had, let's let bygones be bygones. You seem like you're all right now, especially if you've been putting up with this absolute loon of a fucking man.
And because your wife is friends with him, that should also count for something.
Oh yeah, it does.
So I also wanted to point out that this isn't Isaac educating us on anything. He's explaining his opinion. Now, the reason why we struggle with understanding your point of view is because of the poor job you do communicating that point coherently. You don't get to be angry at us because you fail to get your point across in a way that can be understood. We couldn't comprehend you because half of the things you say don't make sense.
And man, that's like why we ask direct questions. Questions. It's not to antagonize you when we ask those direct questions. It is because we are trying to understand your point of view and your frame of reference, which you definitely seem to struggle with. And I mean, man, it's difficult because there are people out here that struggle with things like spelling and people who struggle with vocabulary or speaking or just generally thinking or communicating all over. But you struggle with all of those things, and that is insane.
Yeah, it is. And it makes it difficult to communicate or have any type of productive dialogue with a person that sees questions as an attack. because
like
then it kind of takes asking questions and the ability to clarify anything out of the picture. And then we just sit there talking at each other and misunderstanding what each other is saying.
it's like trying to communicate with someone who has the vocabulary of a middle schooler.
Well, that's
He's going to praise. That's just what Smokey is. So we'll just wait.
Oh, we missed that point a little bit. I just want to go back and see if I'll get him to say it again.
And including Smokey, that's why he gave you kudos on this video. Anything.
So he seems a little butthurt that Smokey gave you kudos. Because he sees Smokey as befriending anybody that goes against Isaac. I mean, but that's a typical narcissistic trait, right? Like anybody that Smokey is friends with must be an enemy of Isaac. And Smokey going to anyone and giving them praise for anything means that you're in cahoots with him.
Hey, Isaac, I'll give you a quick rundown. I don't make my videos for anybody. The first video I made in this batch was for my wife because I didn't like the way that you were talking to her. This video, the most recent one, I made that for me because I thought it was funny. And I still think it's really funny.
Really? Right. It's for your own enjoyment, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Isaac has a problem with it because he doesn't understand sarcasm and he doesn't really understand humor. So
yeah,
that's another him problem.
If that video got 0 likes and like 5 views, I would still be laughing my ass off about it right now, like I am currently doing.
Yep, absolutely. I also wanted to bring up another point because he seems to have an issue with anybody that Smokey talks to, because Smokey is so highly critical of him. But I wanted to raise a point to Isaac about his new friends. In particular, Lori, who is that Alan Morris person, and JPP, who is the Coffee and Chat 55, Jenny Sue. We're just going to talk about them very briefly because it's relevant to this particular point. So anyone that I've ever had a disagreement with in the past, JPP has gone running to said person, regardless of who they are, trying to get a response from that person about me because I've had a disagreement with them. So that automatically means JPP goes running to them to try and side with them because she has such a personal issue with me. And she wants to dish with me and get that particular person more information so that they can attack me. And she's done this a number of times. Smokey was actually one of those people. Smokey and Will were the first ones that she went running to. And I'm sure if you ask Smokey, he can tell you all about the conversations that he's had with her where she was trying to rally Smokey and Will to go after me. I knew that at the time. I know it now. And if you need Smokey to confirm that, I'm sure that he will if you ask him. But she went running to them way back then to side with them, to try and get them to attack me. She's done that with a guy named Ziad. She's done that with a guy named Chris Yoon. She's done that with Stephen Hilton. Now, mind you, some of these YouTubers are a little bit bigger YouTubers, so they didn't pay attention to her. But there's a handful that did. But that's kind of her MO. So whoever I have a disagreement with, she goes running to. The reason why I bring up that point is because she doesn't give a shit about you, Isaac. You were just an opportunity for her to jump back into drama with me. She was using you to try and get back at me because that's how she operates. And she's done it. And I can demonstrate that she's done this several times in the past. So, and just to kind of lay out how things happened is she deleted her YouTube channel sometime in October. I had 0 interactions with her. I didn't even know she had a new YouTube and I wasn't looking for it. I was minding my business. She was minding her business, and we were having no interactions, no drama, no nothing. But I get into a disagreement with you, Isaac, and she suddenly appears and throws herself in the fucking middle of the situation because it was an opportunity to get back at me. So that just goes to show her intentions. You were simply just an opportunity for her. She's, of course, not going to admit to that. She's actually most likely going to make a video denying that fact. And I mean, what you want to believe is what you want to believe. It doesn't really matter. But I have the evidence on my channel, and I can easily show it to you. But the point of that being is that if you're going to point fingers at Smokey for giving kudos to anybody that attacks you or criticizes you, maybe you should spend some more time on paying attention to the people that you're inviting into your own house and their actions and intentions than worry about who Smokey's talking to.
Is this a pot calling the kettle black experience?
100%.
I have no idea what that's like.
And the only reason why I brought up Jenny Sue is, one, because it's relevant to the situation, but two, the last conversation that I had with Isaac, he tried to sit there and say, well, I know all about your harassment and your stalking, and there was even a police report. And I brought up the fact that Isaac was just hearing one side of the story. And he said that he wasn't interested in listening to the other side because of my attitude. So he was going to judge me rather than hear my side of the story. He was just going to go based on one side. So if he hadn't have brought that up, I probably wouldn't have brought this up. But obviously, Miss Jenny Poo Poo has been talking to him in the background and, you know, making herself the victim yet again about how I'm this awful, evil, harassing person. But if that's true, then why did she throw herself back into a situation that involved me? It's because she couldn't handle not being involved in the drama. She saw an opportunity to attack me and she jumped at it. And if that doesn't demonstrate how drama-minded she is, I don't know what else is. But it seems kind of obvious to me.
Anyone that says bad about me, he's going to praise. That's just what Smokey is.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just wait.
What the fuck it was?
He was going to wait for you to show up, basically, because, you know, he was streaming at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, again, sleeping. I have this thing called a job.
Yep.
I know you don't know much about those, but I have one.
Mm-hmm.
That and responsibilities.
Yep. And we'll bring that up later, too. I'll point
Supposed
that
to
out.
mean?
Well, it was supposed to mean exactly what it said. What?
This fake cringy laugh is just, it makes my skin crawl because it's so cringy. Because it comes across as really insincere, and he does this laugh and clap at things that really aren't funny. And I don't really understand why he thinks they're funny. But
it's nervous laughter. He's got to
so?
make it look like he's very comfortable and in control of the situation.
Mm-hmm. But it's such ick, you know. I cringy. I can't stand it.
A fool. What a fool. I know that because
Laugh
the simple
harder,
fact
friends.
that the LGBTQ community uses Jesus Christ as their own propaganda.
No, he's right on that one. We don't use propaganda. We use propaganda.
Yeah, we don't use propaganda. We use propaganda. Yeah, because, I mean, Smokey loves to attack my speech, my conversation.
I'm not Smokey.
I know, but he likes to bring up Smokey. This is how Smokey obsessed he is, because any opportunity that he has to bring up Smokey, he does. Even though Smokey wasn't a part of this conversation or this video.
So because I brought up a similar thing that I guess Smokey has addressed with him in the past, that means that I am Smokey affiliate.
People
All right.
People of Isaac's intelligence level kind of seem to think that way, where if somebody says something similar to someone they hate and they're obsessed with, automatically they're in league with them or they're similar with them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how, and the best example I can think about is JPP and her insistence that she had found this PlayStation channel on YouTube.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah, I can't off the top of my head, I can't even I think it was like PlayStation for Dummies or something like that. But it was this woman who was streaming with her husband and a couple of their friends, and one of the games they played was Ark. They play Fortnite. So they play a bunch of different games together. But they
Right.
stream pretty much on a daily basis on YouTube.
And she just like
So
automatically assumed.
she thought it was me. She thought I was one of the people in this because I commented on one of their live streams because I had come across it and they were playing Ark. So I stayed and I watched them play Ark for a while on the new map. And I was like, oh, hey guys, maybe I'll come and play with you sometimes. I never ended up actually joining them to play because I don't have the time to play video games like I used to. But because I left that like handful of comments on one of their live streams, she somehow had put together in her head that this was me, this was my group somehow, and she had cooked up this entire story about how all the people on this channel knew about her and knew all about our drama. They was posting and making fun of her videos on a Discord that I wasn't even in. Like it was this whole big dramatic story. And I just sat there going, I wasn't even home yesterday. And she's sitting here accusing me of being on PlayStation and streaming and using a secret name. Like, but the people that are stupid kind of do this, right? They make up stories in their head that don't make any sense. And it's like, I've never played video games with these people. I watched one stream and somehow that led to I'm part of this group and I've convinced them all to make fun of her and we're all posting and laughing at her in Discord. Like, what? But Isaac is of that same level, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right. So he likes to repeatedly call us fools because we misunderstand what he's trying to say. And like this is a perfect example of how he sits there and he said propaganda, right? So he's demonstrating for us in real time what happens when you don't use the correct words when you're trying to communicate. And if you can't do that coherently, people will misunderstand you. That doesn't make us stupid. It makes you a poor communicator because you don't know how to use language correctly. You don't know how to use words correctly. You don't know the definitions of words. And when you struggle with those basic things, you don't have the ability to communicate your point or your argument clearly. So you don't get to sit there and get mad at us for misunderstanding you when you can't present your point in a way that makes sense. That's on you. And saying propaganda and Evan points out his error and that makes him a beta, that doesn't even make sense.
I think the real beta move is not being able to pronounce the correct word.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Sounds like someone's on their flesh. Maybe I'm correct. You're a beta. Huh.
But yeah,
What is
like
on-
that. What's that?
What does on your flesh mean? That's not a
means, like,
phrase I've actually ever heard before.
It's more of a religious term, like to be in your flesh, meaning like I don't know how best to explain it, but if
I'll have to
people are
Google that later.
commenting, I apologize. Oh my goodness. There's comments galore and I have totally missed.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, guys. But and I don't know, Smokey, if you could kind of explain what being in your flesh means. I don't feel like I understand it well enough to explain it the best. But it is more of a religious term of being in your flesh, and it kind of means, from my understanding, not aligned with God, more aligned with yourself. But with you being an atheist, that really doesn't matter because you're not a believer, so that doesn't.
No,
really
that's extra funny.
Isaac doesn't know that.
Oh, he doesn't realize that I'm an atheist. I even made.
I mean, listen, the dude thinks you're Canadian. He doesn't even know that you're American. So the fact that he doesn't know that you're an atheist.
No, you were supposed to keep that a surprise.
But the fact that he didn't even take the time to learn about who and what you are says more about him than it does about you, because you are pretty open about those things.
Here, Isaac, number one, I'm an American. I was born in America. I was raised in America. I actually still live basically in the same town that I was raised in.
Yep.
I've traveled outside the country quite a bit, but born and raised American. So, yeah.
Yeah. Totally. All right, let's get.
That might make a lot of sense. Try to push
Again, the awkward
agendas.
laughing
What
is.
does that
And
have
so
to do
you
with
tried, and
any
so
of the
you
topics
tried,
that
and
we've
so what does that have to do with anything? You tried doing the same thing as if Jesus Christ got shot in the head. Are you kidding me?
Was Jesus prosecuted for his crimes?
Ooh, that's a solid question.
Did he fight against
Oh.
crimes?
Here, hang on. Smokey explained in the flesh. And I
Oh.
want to see. Yeah, hang on. I want to put it up on the screen so that I can see it. In your flesh, being carnally minded, prioritizing the perception of the physical above the spiritual in the flesh means non-spiritual living with only sinful flesh focus. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you, Smokey. I appreciate that.
I've never heard now another bit of background that Isaac probably is not aware of is I used to be a Christian. I was raised in a Christian household. I was raised in a conservative Christian household, and my family are, for the most part, still religious and very Christian today.
Mhm.
I am not. I left the faith in 2000 and probably
It was before we met.
yeah, 2011, 2012 is probably when I stopped truly being religious. I still actively participated in church programs for a little while after I left the faith, but I was not. I was still very much questioning up until probably not long before my wife and I got together.
Yeah.
And that would be dodging the question.
No, that's an understanding of the question. You can't just say, was Jesus persecuted for his crimes? I could say,
It was a direct question. It was pretty simple. It's a yes or no question. Was Jesus persecuted or not persecuted? He was. They nailed him to a cross for breaking the law and blaspheming. And Evan talks more about this in this video. Now, we're not saying that Jesus was guilty and deserved it. That's totally not the point of the meme.
But he is. That's what is the point?
Yeah, I know. But like the point of the meme is to show that Christians like Isaac will be standing there pointing the finger at Jesus on the cross saying, you deserved it. And we're liking it to the situation to mega Christians that are pointing at Renee and saying that she deserved to be shot. I've seen comments from mega Christians saying that her whole family deserved to be shot because of what she did. And that's kind of what we were addressing was the violence and the fact that because you don't like this person, you don't like what they did, so you're going to label them as evil, as a domestic terrorist, and you think they all deserve to die.
And as Isaac will point out later in the video, he believes that all authority is ordained by God. Like,
yes,
they're just.
Well, the thing is that he didn't even understand what ordained meant, so he had to pull up AI to get the definition, which was hilarious. All right. Okay.
Oh God.
Yes, he was persecuted for the crimes of people thinking that he had. Okay. So, of course, this is not, if you want to educate people, you got to actually understand the question.
He's got this thing where he thinks that, number one, he's accused me of being a teacher. And he used the example of, I work in HR, so that makes me a teacher. I don't know how he makes that correlation, but it's just stupid. But he thinks that I want to educate people. And like, no, I'm not trying to educate anybody. I have never expressed that was my desire at all. I share my opinions. I like to have discussions on people, but I am in no way an authority to educate anyone. And I've never made that claim. So I don't know why Isaac keeps tagging me with that, saying that I want to educate people. I don't. And I've never said as much. This is where he gets it. So Romans 8:5, those who live according to the flesh have their mind set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you for that reference. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a little frightening actually to think about.
Okay.
It's just I feel like that also reaffirms what I was saying in my video before, which is like these people are psychotic because they believe that everything that they think, say, or do is affirmed by God. It's ordained by God, and they are.
Well, Smokey brought this up, and I don't know if you ever caught it, but Isaac firmly believes that he hears God's voice in his head, but he also believes that he hears Satan's voice in his head. I was on stream when he admitted that, but he thinks he hears Satan's voice in his head.
Yeah, buddy, that's called schizophrenia.
Right? Exactly.
You should probably go see a doctor about that. That's not good. That's not that's not actually God talking to you. That's
not normal.
The voices in your head are not good.
No, that's not normal.
Oh boy.
Question first. So I ask another question to actually get an understanding of the statement or where this question is coming from. If you don't want to understand conversations, then you don't know how to actually effectively communicate.
I'm not sure exactly what about my question was so complicated for him that he needed help understanding, because my question was quite simple and quite straightforward, and it was a yes or no answer. So the fact that Isaac had to ask clarifying questions and it was a little too complicated for him, I think that speaks for itself. But he said something really funny here that made me lose my cool.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Kate. So if I'm asking you a question in the middle of you making a bland statement. I
made a blonde statement.
Ooh, that's a comment for sure.
Right. I was just thinking. I mean, I know I bleached my hair blonde, but it's funny to me that he's sitting here saying that I don't have the ability to communicate effectively, while in the same sentence saying I make blonde statements. So who is really not communicating effectively here, Isaac? You can't even get the right words out, but you're pointing the finger at me saying I don't communicate effectively. I think you need to go look in the mirror, dude. All right.
Bland statement. Was Jesus persecuted for his crimes? Yes or no? Well, I can't just give you a yes or no answer, and that's why.
Well, yeah, it is. It's a yes or no question. Did they persecute him or did they not persecute him? It's a yes or a no. There's really no in between there. Yes, they killed him for breaking their laws at the time. Regardless of whether he was innocent or not, I believe he was innocent and he was killed unjustly. But regardless of whether he was or he wasn't innocent, they still persecuted him. They hung him. They threw him on a cross. Like, that's a yes or no question. It's not much deeper than that.
Why you guys ask those questions. So if you get mad at me for asking you another question to have better terms of the understanding.
See, I think, and this is like kind of a perfect example of how I say, so that I have better terms for understanding. He's using more language than he needs to try and sound intelligent. But in doing that, he's messing up the fact that he's not getting his point across coherently. He's not making sense. He's using words and throwing them in there in a way that doesn't make sense. Because really simply, he could have said, hey, I was asking you a clarifying question because I didn't understand your question. There you go. Simple. Right? Gets the point across. Not really much to misunderstand about that. But I think that he's so focused on trying to sound smart that he's just making himself appear more dumb.
Of what you're trying to get at.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He's not doing a great job of trying to make himself sound smart.
Oh, God, no. He does the exact opposite this entire video.
Hey.
Then I have a right.
One other thing I will say is that, Isaac, you need to either A, pick up an encyclopedia or pick up a dictionary, because there are more words than idiot and there are more words than beta, which,
or fools.
Yeah, that's another one.
He seems to recycle the same words over and over and over again. Doesn't really make his point any better than he thinks it does.
To do that, It's just that simple. I don't understand what terms you're getting at. And if you're only going to assume certain things, then if I was to say yes, then you're going to assume why was the woman shot for her crimes.
So he really gets stuck on this assumptions thing that it makes me question if he really even understands what assuming something or making assumptions really means.
I don't think he understands anything.
No, that's very, very true. But it doesn't negate the fact that he didn't answer the question. He just outright didn't answer the question. And you pointed that out and he disagrees with it. And then he goes on this rant about assumptions because he couldn't follow my line of reasoning. I wasn't assuming anything. That's why I asked the question in the first place.
All of this while also still failing to answer the question.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Still failing to answer the question. He does later go on and answer it. But, I mean, why he couldn't do that in the conversation, I don't understand, because it would have just simplified things. But it seems like Isaac doesn't like to simplify things.
Again, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Now.
Oh, don't we know it, Isaac? And we're going to see you do plenty of making an ass of yourself through this entire video.
Jesus was not this woman. Get that through your guys' head. So he was not persecuted for his crimes because he had no crimes. He was innocent. He had no crimes. He was an innocent man.
Well, yeah, and I agree. He was innocent, but that doesn't change the fact that he was persecuted for them. He was accused of crimes, and he was persecuted for them. I think he was innocent. You think he was innocent, but it doesn't change the fact that they still hung him on a cross.
Hey, you know who didn't think he was innocent?
Who?
Pontius Pilate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah,
and the Romans that were prosecuting him at the time, yeah.
The Pharisees, they also thought he was guilty.
Yeah.
So he was found guilty of doing crimes of that time, and he was executed by the law of the land for doing those crimes. That's what happened. You're saying that Renee Good was killed for breaking the law of the land of that time, and we're saying that she didn't break a law. So it's the same argument that you're making for Jesus.
Yeah. And that was kind of the point of posting the meme in the first place, was to really kind of point out the fact that Christians like Isaac would be the ones pointing the finger at Jesus, saying that he deserved it, even though he was an innocent man, saying that he's deserved it because he broke the law of the time. And that comparison was the whole point, and that just completely went over his head.
Which, based off of what he said, since all authority is ordained by God, that means that Pontius Pilate was ordained by God. And his decision...
It raises questions about what exactly he believes in regards to that.
Right?
Yeah, because it doesn't line up. It's contradictory.
In this scenario, Renee Good was an innocent
person. I really wish he had put his volume up on your...
Renee Good was not an innocent woman. She was interfering with the agents. They told her to leave. They didn't listen. Then her girlfriend told her to drive off, knowing the cops are all around. Like, have you ever heard of, like, precautions? Like, come on. Are you telling me right now that if a police officer pulls you over and you hurry up and get your glove department, they don't think you're trying to grab a gun?
So you're expecting that a civilian with no formal training whatsoever is going to react better to a situation than a person who has training, which they were clearly not following when they stepped in front of Renee Good's vehicle, right? Because almost every police officer that I've heard talk about this has said stepping in front of a vehicle is not a good idea. In fact, it breaches protocol in every way.
Yeah, it does. Yep. And actually the Supreme Court ruled that law enforcement that put themselves into a situation that puts them in danger does not give them the right to use excessive force. So in that entire situation, that police officer, even if Renee Good hit him hard enough as that what they're claiming, he would still be at fault for putting himself in that situation. That's not my opinion. That's what the Supreme Court ruled. and there's protocols in place. Because you can think about it too. If you're firing a gun at somebody that has a moving vehicle and you're shooting the driver and killing them, you're turning that vehicle into a weapon that is now out of control and could damage property, hurt people, kill people. So there's a reason why they don't want people or police officers firing a gun at a driver, because then you make the situation more dangerous than you do not.
On top of that,
common sense.
Just looking at like the line of fire that officer had, he was firing in the same direction of where pedestrians were.
Was he really? Oh yeah, I
mean,
guess he was, because they were behind the vehicle. I didn't even consider that, honestly.
So reckless on lots of different levels.
Yeah. But he asked me a question here, so I kind of want to address that.
Are you telling me that you don't understand the concept? He got hit. He had.
Oh, I must have missed the point. So anyway, in regards to a cop coming to me and assuming that I'm reaching for a gun in my glove box. Well, one, I hope that the cop doesn't make assumptions that I'm going for a gun, because reaching for your glove box if you're pulled over is kind of commonplace for that's where you keep your vehicle documents. That's where I keep my vehicle documents, as most people do that I know of anyway. But regardless of that, I would still inform the officer that I was reaching for the glove box and why. But overall, American cops don't really have the best reputation when it comes to things like that. I do have the privilege of being the color that I am, that, there isn't going to be assumptions usually made about me and pulling a gun on an officer. But regardless, I would take every precaution in that situation to keep myself and anybody else in my vehicle safe. That's just me. However, putting myself in Renee Good's position, just from the outside looking in and watching that video, these men, masked men, pulled up in an unmarked vehicle, hopped out of her car, told her first to drive away, then told her to stop and get out of the vehicle, but immediately ran up, stuck their arms in her door, and started yanking on her door. I can't say that I wouldn't react with fear in that situation, because at least if I'm getting pulled over by a police officer, they're in a recognizable vehicle, they're wearing a recognizable uniform, their face isn't covered, and they most likely will not have their weapon drawn. So, the situations really aren't all that comparable. And if I was in Renee Good's situation, I'd be scared too. And I probably would panic. And who's to say that she didn't panic when she put her foot on the gas and she didn't, she was trying to pull away from them. But I can't say that I would have done anything differently, because when you panic, you're kind of unpredictable. So I would be frightened in her situation. I wouldn't be so much frightened of a police officer, because I've had dealings with police officers before. And again, they're not walking up to me trying to yank my car door open, wearing masks. I'm sorry. That's just me as a woman. That's scary. And I don't want to be in that situation.
I don't think it's just for women. I think for almost anybody, that would be a frightening experience.
Oh yeah. 100%. Okay.
His hand on the trigger. Situations happen. What happens if someone gets hit and a hand is on a trigger? Cause and effect. You tell me, well, he shouldn't have done it. Well, she should not have been having problems with an investigation. It's just that simple. Interfering with an investigation is a problem in itself.
The arguments he makes there just are nonsensical. I understand what he's trying to get across, but there is a much more coherent way that he could present that argument that makes sense.
Yes, his whole argument is interfering with police is bad, and how dare you do that? But these aren't just like regular police, my man. They're immigration officials, and they're doing shit that they probably shouldn't really be doing. If we're being perfectly honest.
Yeah, and we kind of get into that a little bit later too, about our problems with the way things are going. But that's for a little bit.
Who interfered for Jesus?
I don't know what that's got to do with
this is what you guys don't understand. You want to make one thing right and say fuck the other things. How does that make sense? Obviously, it doesn't because you're a beta male.
Okay.
So again, a completely incoherent argument that makes zero sense. So
Followed up with insults.
Right, followed up by insults. So, I mean, again, thank you to Isaac for once again demonstrating that he doesn't understand the point that we're trying to make. He doesn't know how to clearly communicate the point that he's trying to make. And he's got to cover it up by, again, calling you a beta male because that's really all he's got. You know, he kind of resorts to the name calling because his argument is so weak. It doesn't even make sense. So, but because he lacks the comprehension skills, he comes to ridiculous conclusions like this and then tries, again, to use the personal attacks to try and cover up that it's too complicated for him to understand. So, I mean, this is just more evidence that he's ill-equipped to handle adult discussions.
And only beta males want, oh, women, I'm for you. I'm for your rights. I love what you're talking. What are you even talking about? Women have rights, but at the end of the day, there's logic behind it.
So, did you catch all that there? So, you're a beta male because you think that women have rights.
Yeah.
And you're supporting women's rights. However, in the same breath, he then turns around and says, yes, women have rights. So, he's basically calling himself a beta because he's defining it as a beta thinks that women have rights, and then he agrees with it. So Isaac's a beta.
I mean,
like,
sometimes the arguments just make themselves, I suppose.
Right? I know. And again, the argument that he's trying to using doesn't make any logical sense either. So, because what he says is at the end of the day, women have rights, but there is logic behind it. We don't just have rules for understanding because we're stupid, like you want us Americans to think we are. It's like that.
Like
That's
you want us Americans to think we are.
Yeah. Like nothing about that statement makes any sense whatsoever. Like, I mean, women have rights, yes, but there's logic behind it. What does that even mean?
You know, both a condom and an education could have prevented this entire problem.
Oh, 100%. Let's just hope he never breeds because, good Lord, those children, poor children. What a travesty that would be.
Look, everybody makes mistakes. Unfortunately, his parents made an egregious one.
Yes, yes, absolutely, 100%. But anyway, so that line of whatever that was, an attempt at an argument, made absolutely zero sense and doesn't even, like, it's not even a coherent or complete thought. So, I mean, that's kind of embarrassing for him.
We don't just have these rules for understanding because we're stupid. Like you want to make us American.
I don't know what he means by rules for understanding. I mean, you either understand something or you don't. There isn't rules for understanding things. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
The rule is that if you don't agree with him, you don't understand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. That's what he thinks. That if you don't agree, you don't understand. Even though I tried to take the time to explain that not agreeing doesn't mean that I don't understand. But he just, that goes over his head.
No. At the end of the day, you're making yourself look foolish, and that's fine.
I mean, I'm not the one that's making incoherent arguments that make any sense, but I'm the one that's making myself out to be a fool. Okay.
Okay. This woman was not an innocent woman that was persecuted, okay?
The Department of Homeland Security, ICE agents, as well as the President of the United States and Kristi Noem all referred to her as a domestic terrorist immediately after the incident.
Oh, pause.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
I misspoke there. Completely failed. Obviously, I lose this debate. Clearly, I said President in the United States instead of President of the United States in that clip of the video. Curses.
Curses. He kind of goes on to talk about like our problem with deporting people And it kind of boils down to, our argument is not that we have an issue with deporting people, because obviously many presidents before Trump have deported people that are here illegally and undocumented. That's just a fact. Obama actually deported more people than Trump has. So, but people weren't out protesting when when Obama was deporting these people. The streets weren't filled and all of that stuff. So the issue isn't the deportations, it's how it's being executed that's the problem. You know, people are being denied due process. People are being scooped up who are here legally and have green cards. They're scooping up US citizens. They're killing US citizens. So it's not that they're deporting people that's the problem. It's ICE terrorizing communities, detaining citizens, injuring and killing people, and just generally being bullies. So it's the process that's being used rather than the actual deportations itself. It's the basically inhumane treatment of people, both documented and undocumented, in this whole entire process. That's what we have a problem with.
Yeah, my problem is more the fact that it seems like Isaac thinks that the last line of the Pledge of Allegiance is "One nation under God," and has forgotten that there's a line that comes after that.
With liberty and justice for all. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because that's one of the things I have to memorize when I take my test. So score one for me for remembering that.
Yeah, the last word in that line is particularly important. The last two, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, liberty and justice for all. And justice includes that if somebody's here and they are undocumented and they're here illegally, okay, they are still afforded due process under the Constitution. So put them through the process, send them to court, do what you got to do, deport them in the end. But it's the inhumane treatment of people that is actually the problem, not being deported. It's that simple. And I don't know how that argument keeps kind of getting lost in this whole thing. Okay.
Let me explain a little concept. You know, the M13 that came over here illegally started killing our citizens just because they hate us so badly, you know, and ICE was actually trying to stop those things to happen. And so they were going and investigating neighborhoods and women, people saying, oh, that's not right. That's not right. Well, then what happens if one of your family members die? What happens if one of your kids get killed?
Can I pause that real quick for a minute?
Yep.
So my next point would be, oh crap, that's right, I went outside. My internet connection's poopy out here.
Oh, you went outside.
Yeah, mistakes were made. So my retort to this is like, who commits the most murders in the United States?
Ooh, I addressed this earlier because I actually pulled up some statistics. You can answer that if you want.
I actually, offhand, I imagine it's probably white Christian men.
So the statistics that I pulled up specifically are in regards to mass shooting. And unfortunately, the stats that I was looking at didn't really look at the religious demographic. More so, it just kind of looked at gender, age, and color.
Well, if I can figure out how to work this tablet that I have sitting in front of me.
Oh, you have a tablet? Does it have enough battery for you to touch it?
It has 35% battery, so enough for me to at least look some things up.
Well, the charger's behind you on the couch, so if you need it, you can.
But
while you're looking that up, can I?
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Okay. So, addressing his point about if they were to kill a family member of ours, absolutely that would be tragic, and I would be extremely upset about that. It would be no different, though, than if they were killed by an American citizen. I would be just as upset and just as devastated if it was somebody who was born here versus somebody who wasn't. I mean, it really makes no difference. I wouldn't feel any differently about it. And so if we want to look at this kind of as a broad spectrum, right? You are more likely to be harmed by an American citizen than an undocumented person. So those are the actual statistics. So what I found is in Texas, they are the state that regularly tracks immigration status with arrest records. And according to what they have, native-born Americans are significantly more likely to be arrested for crimes than undocumented immigrants. More so for violent crimes. So U.S.-born citizens are over twice as likely to be arrested compared to undocumented immigrants. For drug crimes, roughly 2.5 more times more likely for U.S.-born people. And property crimes, over 4 times more likely for U.S.-born people. And these are rates per population. So undocumented people also have a lower overall crime and incarceration rate. And this is also, this part of it is looking at immigrants in general. So this would be both documented and undocumented. Studies find that immigrants, including undocumented individuals, are less likely to commit crime overall than U.S.-born Americans. Immigrants are around 60% less likely to be incarcerated than U.S.-born citizens. And large-scale research and reviews shows no evidence that undocumented immigration increases violent crime in the U.S. And some studies even tie increased undocumented immigration to reductions in certain crime categories. And I mean, if you think about this, if you're here illegally, you're going to want to make yourself as invisible as possible, right? So you're not going to be going out there and getting yourself arrested because then you're going to get found out, right? A lot of times undocumented people won't even go to the hospital because, again, they don't want to get found out and get deported. And that's one of the biggest deterrents, right, is the fear of deportation. Immigrant communities often have also strong social networks and community cohesion, which is associated with lower crime rates. So basically, what this is saying is that immigrant communities tend to be much closer knit than a lot of American-born communities. They work more closely together. And we see that's kind of a trend with other cultures. And then selection effects. So people who migrate without documentation often endure risks and planning that correlate with strong employment motivation and law-abiding behavior. So their motivation for even coming to this country in the first place is not to commit crimes, for the most part. It's trying to get a job and provide for your family. And they're going to be law-abiding citizens because, again, they want to be able to do that for as long as possible without getting caught. So they're going to be less likely to commit crimes that's going to get them sent back to where they don't want to go. This was also another note that I wanted to make. So, and this comes up later as well. Being undocumented is not a crime per se in the criminal sense. It's a civil violation. So somebody that's here undocumented is not actually committing a crime. They just haven't done the right paperwork. So if you're here as undocumented, you're not prosecuted in a criminal court. It's a civil court. So they're not actually committing a crime, right? And this was something interesting that came up in a video that I was watching earlier today. But the data that is posted on the government website, mind you, at congress.gov, is that the percentage of undocumented detainees, so people that they've picked up off the street that are undocumented, 70 to 73% of those people picked up do not have a criminal record and have not been persecuted for any type of crime in the US. So they haven't broken the law in any way. So the criminals that they're actually picking up are a very small percentage, less than, it's like 30 to below 30% of the people that they're detaining and deporting do not have criminal histories, which challenges this idea that Trump is rounding up people that are violent criminals that are hurting Americans. Sure, some of them are, but a very small percentage. So what they're doing really is, they're picking up a Mexican dad or your next door neighbor's abuela, or, people that are here just living their lives, minding their business, not hurting anyone, who have made a civil violation. They violated it's a civil violation in regards to paperwork. So, but anyway, so that just basically all of that was immigrants overall, including undocumented individuals, have lower crime and incarceration rates versus American-born citizens. So that was my long drawn out stats attachment. So now we get to the good part. Husband, are you still there, or did you go outside?
I'm still here.
Okay. What's really sad is we're only like 9 minutes into this video.
Huh? Do you understand no, one way is right, one way is wrong. Are you stupid? Like, seriously, this is literally the definition of idiocy.
Idiocy is not even a word.
Do you not understand this?
So when you're sitting here calling us idiots and you can't even get the words right, you're just making yourself look stupid, Isaac.
We have rules and regulations.
What's that?
I found the statistics I was looking for.
Okay, go ahead.
It's not quite so. The FBI doesn't do a whole lot of data research on like religious crime, as in terms of like the perpetrator and what their religious affiliation is. However, they do have a decent amount of like anti whatever religious group bias that happens within the United States. So in the US, the groups that are most biased against are Jewish, Muslim, and Jewish and Muslim. They suffer from roughly 70 to 80% of the type of bias and attacks and targeted hate crimes that happen within the United States. Only 2 to 4% of religious hate crimes that happen in the United States target Catholics, Protestants, or any other denomination of the Christian faith. So you guys are not targeted or attacked by fucking anybody except for like a very, very, very slim minority. And you're making it out to sound like you guys are attacked by everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
For a reason, this country has been the way that it is because of rules and regulations. Now we have people trying to stop those rules. You didn't create the country.
I didn't claim to create the country, nor did I claim to create any laws or change any laws. I don't know why he's making that shit up, but it's just simply not true. But here's where he gets talking about you, my love, which is hilarious.
What? You think you can do better? Then why don't you have your own? Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys moved from Canada.
Apparently, what did you say?
Well, I do have my own country. I'm living in it currently. And I didn't move from anywhere. I've lived here. I've just been here, living in my country.
Yep.
How does that make sense? So now you want to come over here and try to change our rules?
So, yeah, basically, you kind of took my point. The fact that, you were born and raised here in Pennsylvania. I was the one that immigrated legally, by the way, from Canada to the U.S. in 2022, because this is where my husband is from. This is where my husband lived. This is where my husband has a job. So that is why we made the decision about immigration that we did, and why I came here. It's because I married a man from America who lives in Pennsylvania. And it's kind of common for people that live in different countries that get married will choose either one or the other person's country to live in. And, we picked the U.S.
And just a little side note, Isaac, while you probably have your AI system pulled up in front of you, do yourself a favor and look up what an amendment is. Since you're so worried about, rules changing and all that, look up what the definition of an amendment is.
I don't know if he can probably look up the definition. Whether or not he'll understand it, I guess, would be.
Or whether or not he can spell it. We might have to put that up on screen for him.
God, I don't think he could spell it. I don't think there'd be any chance. But he's accusing me of coming over here and trying to change rules. And I mean, he can't give any examples, and he doesn't throughout this entire video give any examples of rules that I'm trying to change. and because I think that people should be treated with dignity and decency, even when they're being arrested for a crime, means that somehow I'm trying to change a rule. And again, he can't demonstrate what rule that is. But believing that everyone, regardless of their immigration status, deserves due process, as it's stated in the Constitution of the United States, doesn't mean I'm trying to change a rule. Muffin, these are already rules. They're already in place. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm upset the fact that these rules are being ignored, and that things like trying to take away birthright citizenship and things like that. They're also talking about trying to take away dual citizenship. That would directly affect our daughter because she holds Canadian citizenship because her mother's Canadian, and she also holds American citizenship because her father is American. So my child has the best of both worlds and has the opportunity to live, work, go to school in either country because she's a citizen of both. And now the Trump administration is trying to take that away. Whether that's successful or not will be a different story. But they're still trying to take that away. And it would strip my child of one of her citizenships because we would be forced to choose which citizenship to keep for her. And I don't feel like that's fair. But anyway, so I said that these were already rules. It's upsetting that they're being blatantly ignored. And people have the right to protest in America. That is also another right that you have. And it's a rule that people have that freedom to do so. So I'm not trying to change anything. I'm upset that this administration is not following already established rules. And you seem to endorse that. You want the rules to be followed. So I don't know why we're not on the same page about that, because we're advocating for the same thing. We want the rules to be followed, the already established rules.
Try to make it a
What?
I'm laughing at the comment that someone just left.
Oh, I moved my chat to try and... Isaac cannot read the criminal statute, much less read the words in the... Yes, Ryan. Yep. 100% agree.
protest, say, oh, these people are not right. Then why did you even move over here?
Because my husband was born and raised here and I wanted to be with him. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Like, go back. That's not me being an asshole. That's literally this. Just go back.
No, that's definitely you being an asshole.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's confusing, because MAGA on one hand will say, well, if you don't like America, get the hell out. But then they'll also say to people coming to this country, well, if you don't like the way your country's operating, go back and change it. So which is it? Should we stay here and fix the problems here, or are we going back to another country to fix the problems there? It's like either or, nobody's happy. So that doesn't really make sense to me.
No hate like Christian love.
MAGA Christian.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is kind of like, I mean, if Isaac wants to convince us that he's not a MAGA Christian, then needs to stop using MAGA talking points, which is go back to your own country.
I mean, it is people like this that legitimately made me leave Christianity to begin with. It was seeing 100%. Shit like this on a regular basis that I was like, I'm not going to be a part of this bullshit. If this is the way that people are going to treat God and Jesus and the word of God and the weight of everything that I've learned.
Well, it's not even that. They're the way that they're treating other people in the name of their God.
Yeah, it's like using religion and faith as a bludgeoning tool against everyone around you. You're not using religion for love. You're using it to promote your version of hate.
Yes, 100%.
If it's not that free over here, then go back where it was. I don't know what else to tell you. No, you try to change the definition of freedom.
I have not once challenged the definition of freedom. I have not said that people deserve less freedom. So I don't know where he's getting this idea that I want to change the definition of freedom, but it's just more examples of him making shit up that I didn't actually say.
I will go against that myself personally. I think freedom of speech is great. But Isaac, you can shut the fuck up.
Isaac says go back to where you came from. Yes, he did. He did that.
Persecution to me.
She was interfering with ICE from the very beginning. We already know this. Hey, BrightlyMinded, let me ask you a simple question. Now that you found out that why that church was being invaded because the pastor was part of ICE, now can you understand? Now, are you going to make a statement saying that it's okay for people to invade a church? Well, Jesus Christ did too, huh?
So again, he's asks me a question, but then he just makes an assumption about what my answer is going to be, and then just kind of goes off on a tangent about that. And I had a conversation with this, I think, with James. I can't remember who it was, but someone had kind of asked my opinion of what that whole situation with Don Lemon and the protesters going into the church. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have an opinion on it, not because I don't think I want to have an opinion on it. It's the fact that I haven't had the time to sit down and really find out what happened. I haven't watched any video footage. I haven't read any articles on it. So I'm not going to sit here and form an opinion on a situation that I haven't educated myself on, because that's irresponsible of me. I'm not going to sit here and discuss something that I have no knowledge on. I know better than that,
Which just goes to show you that, like, she has a different opinion than I do on this particular topic, because I absolutely support everything that happened with that church. I think it is perfectly okay for those people who have gone in there, because I know that one of the pastors that is part of that church is a director of a field office out of St. Paul. So the fact that he is a pastor and also leading these ICE raids in Minneapolis dictates to me, like, I don't have a problem with people going into his place of worship and making the people there a little bit uncomfortable, because he has no problem with going into people's homes, into public areas, and making people not just uncomfortable, but in some cases, killing them.
But to the point of Isaac asking me if I have an opinion on it, I honestly don't. I don't have an opinion on it yet, because I have not had the opportunity to educate myself on the topic. And when I do that, I will share my thoughts and what my opinions are. Unfortunately, we're under an administration right now that we are bombarded almost on a daily basis with breaking news. There's shit happening every single day.
Because that's the game.
Exactly. But it's literally impossible to be able to keep up on everything that's happening, because on top of, everything, all the news and being bombarded with the news, you and I both have full-time jobs. We're parents. I'm heavily involved in church activities. I'm usually doing something with my church 2 or 3 times a week. I simply just don't have the time or the ability to keep up with every single breaking news story. And I'm the type of person where I'm not going to have an opinion on something unless I understand it, unless I've educated myself on it. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. And I'm not going to share an opinion that I just pull out of thin air, because I don't think that's honest. So when I have had a chance to educate myself on this situation, then I'll share my thoughts. But I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Oh, I had added in my notes here, I don't have hours upon hours to sit at home on my behind shouting my opinions at people on the internet, unlike some people. And I can think of more than just Isaac that does that.
Only beta males have that concept. Seriously. Only beta males have to use Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ never used any of you guys.
I really should have made a counter for how many times he said beta throughout his videos,
Hmm.
because I just feel like he might be. Did he just like recently learn the word or something? He
I don't
says it a
know.
lot.
He does say it a lot, so he may have just learned what it meant, or someone may have told him about it, but he does use buzzwords very frequently, and the fact that he says beta so many times in just this video alone makes me think that it's a brand new shiny word for him.
Yeah, brother, the 2010s called. They want their shitty words back.
Do you realize that? How dumb is that? Jesus this, Jesus that, but I don't want to admit to what I'm doing.
What? See, there's more cringy laugh and clapping, and it's like, what is even funny about that, dude? Like, you're so awkward and icky. Like, ugh.
Yeah, okay. Good job.
Remind me, what was the crime that Jesus was charged with again? Oh, right. Sedition and treason for claiming to be the Son of God.
So we are supposed to obey. Yeah, treason because he was claiming to be the Son of God. This woman was not. What was this woman doing that was literally a crime? Okay? Anyone that interferes with any kind of investigation is a crime. Duh. Woo. The law of the land. People are stupid. Supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if a police officer is telling you to leave or get out of the scene and you refuse, well, you are going against the law that God has ordained and put in place.
I'm sorry, are you trying to imply that our laws are dictated by a God?
God has ordained and put in place. Have God be the judge.
The nonchalantness. The nonchalant. That is horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even though like it is laid out in the Constitution that the government will not favorite or I can't remember what the actual wording of it is. But they're not going to lean more towards one religion versus another.
There's a separation of church and state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, the laws of the land that we have were, people made those. We collectively came together as a community and decided what laws were going to be and what laws we were going to follow. And we didn't use that based on the Bible or one particular religion. So, I mean, no, the laws aren't ordained by God because they're not Christian laws. They're secular laws. That's how they're established. And that's how they're established that way because of the Constitution.
Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, all authority is ordained by God. Question for you, buddy. If all authority is ordained by God, does that mean that Biden was also ordained by God?
I don't, again, more awkward laughing and clapping. I don't know what was funny about your question.
I think what he's laughing at is the fact that I just owned his ass with that question, and he realizes that he doesn't have a good response for it.
Very true.
Oh, let me explain something to you right now, buddy. Okay. Yeah, he was. You want to know why? It taught us Christians that we are not in control. It taught us Christians to wait, to focus, and keep our focus. You want to know something that's really funny, buddy? Since you decided to move over here and not understand our history, how about you look at the back when Democratic Party consists...
Hold up on that for a second. Did he just say, I don't understand our history because I moved over here?
Yeah, because he's still I told you, throughout this entire stream, he thinks you're Canadian.
Oh, right,
so
I forgot.
Is him again, bringing up the fact that
Canadian.
He believes that you're Canadian. He doesn't understand that you're American, you were born here, you were raised here. You know what I mean? So
hey, Isaac, I know more about history than you do. Guaranteed. Especially American history, 1000% guarantee you that I know more about American history than you do. I know this because I graduated high school.
I I didn't have the fact that he didn't graduate from high school in my notes. So I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you went there, so but thank you for that. I appreciate it. We actually live in the town where my husband was raised. My daughter goes to the same school that my husband did growing up. So, I am the oddball out in our family because I am Canadian. I'm a permanent resident. They are both American citizens. And my husband has been an American citizen his entire life.
And fun fact, my school district is one of the better ones in my state too.
Yep.
So I got a nice education when I was a young man.
Yep. So Isaac, some advice for you. Before you make arguments, you should educate yourself on who you're talking to, where they come from, and find out the facts so that you don't make a fool of yourself by sitting here and accusing my husband of being Canadian, which invalidates all of your argument that you're going to give to us in the next couple of minutes because he's American and not Canadian, and you made a mistake.
Instantly fights the Republic.
What's that?
I said, otherwise people might make you look like a fool, like we're doing to you right now.
Well, I mean, he doesn't need our help. He does that quite fine on his own.
All the time. Then they always expect the Republicans to shut up and not say a thing. Look how many years we've had Republican presidents compared to Democratic presidents. Then we had Bush that said that he was a Republican, but we all know he wasn't. I'm not talking bad about any president, but I'm going to tell you at the end of the day, you could say that Bush was a Republican, but we know he wasn't. He might have said it from the outward appearance, but he never actually believed it. And then we have these concepts. You guys can go ahead and you don't know our history, and that's perfectly fine. Our history, we've been known to shut up, be quiet, and take it.
I don't know, baby, but when have Americans ever been quiet and shut up and take it?
I guess that's Isaac's motto. That's what he likes to do.
He shuts up and takes it.
Do you think that's what his wife asks him to do?
Oh, I don't doubt at all that him admitting that he's a feminine man, that he gets pegged. 100%.
Hey, we don't judge here. It's not okay to kink shame.
Well, I'm not kink shaming.
Unless kink shaming is your kink.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just my impression of Isaac. And he is, again, a self-professed feminine man. So, I mean, doesn't give us a whole lot of imagination there.
You wonder why Trump is the way that he is? He's been in the same as a citizen, and you're telling him to shut up and take it? Now he's taking control. Now you have a problem with it. Why? Because you can't control? Huh?
No. My problem is more like related to the whole Epstein thing and like a whole series of other things.
Oh,
yeah, but like that's a whole nother conversation.
There's way more points that we could go on that, and we could be here all night discussing that, but
that's only a beta male. A beta male whines because he lost control. I don't care if you lose control or if you do have control.
Again, with the beta male.
God's in control. So yeah, Biden was in office by God's admission. Now I'm going to tell you something else. Why do you think his cognitive thinking was being destroyed? Let me tell you something. Usually people that lie a lot, it's hard for them to remember scenarios, right? So if you're older...
Sounds like he's speaking from personal experience.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it's funny how he's talking about Biden's cognitive decline when Trump, this just past week, when in his speech, kept confusing Greenland with Iceland.
I mean, shit, we're watching a cognitive decline right in front of us right now.
I also, this is a good opportunity to show this. This is what Trump posted today. Can you read that?
Oh, lovely.
But
America the Great.
But look at that. Should I try for a fourth term?
Does he forget that he's Not
he hasn't
even-
served a third term, and that he doesn't qualify for a third term, but we're jumping right to a fourth term.
Yeah, but you have to understand, for the Republicans, this is just him trolling really, really good. He's trolling the left really hard. The libs are going to get so upset about this.
Right. But I saw that today, and that's actually posted on his Truth Social. And I was just, you have got to be kidding me.
It sounds about like right for the level of brain rot that we're at as a country.
Yep.
And you continue to lie? How can you remember what truth you've said?
Yeah, Trump has that issue a lot. He will lie and he will change his story. We've seen it happen in real time many, many times. Biden was having some cognitive decline. Absolutely 100% agree with that. But Trump is on that very same path, and we're seeing him deteriorate mentally before our eyes, on top of physically.
Yeah, but he can't acknowledge that because,
yeah,
Biden's big bad man and Trump is big good man, and he's good boy, and he likes the big good man.
Mm-hmm.
How can you tell if an old person is lying or not? You tell me. Are you smart or are you?
I mean, being an old person is irrelevant. People lie lots, and some people you can tell, some people you can't. All right. I mean, it's how do you tell old people lie? Everybody lies, dude. It has nothing to do with age.
Not. We saw it as clear as day.
Just like
you guys literally wanted him up in office so you could literally just put in any kind of rules and anything else just because.
So apparently we wanted Biden in office so that he would do whatever we wanted.
Yeah. That seemed to have gone really well for us,
I know.
right?
Did
so
you
well
see,
that Trump is in office now.
I know. Did you see all those laws that he changed in favor of us? Because I must have been watching a different country.
Yeah, here's another one, buddy. I don't know about my wife on this particular one, but me personally, like, I voted for Biden. I will fully attest to that. But I didn't fucking like Biden at almost any point of his presidency. I did not like the man. I voted for him because I was like, do I vote for the old man who's slowly going senile, or do I vote for the equally old man who keeps spouting fascist shit?
Right. I mean, we weren't really given an opportunity to choose differently. And we went with what we felt was the better of the two choices. I think I can agree with my husband on this, is that we both would have loved to see somebody else in office other than Biden. I didn't want Biden to be the Democratic president, but that's
good Lord, give me Bernie. Give me Bernie back in 2016, please.
I would have loved to see Bernie too. But that's the thing. We were given two choices, Trump or Biden. Any other vote really wouldn't have gone anywhere because we are such a two-party system here in the US. But of the two, to us, Biden was the better choice. Oh, I got to watch my battery
because he was not coherent. It was actually, some people were actually sad watching Biden talk to the United States of America.
Yeah, kind of like
Republicans and people that we supported, you know what? Let bygones be bygones. The January 6th riot, there was people that were actually dressed up as MAGA, but at first they were there protesting against MAGA. There was videos that went out and said it, but you can't find it, can you?
Yeah, show us evidence. Which, again, there's a lot of people that like to use that argument that it was Democrats dressed up as Republicans to cause chaos.
Then who the fuck is Trump pardoning?
Exactly. Okay, so either they were MAGA and they were breaking into the Capitol and they didn't deserve to be thrown in jail, or they were Democrats dressed up as Republicans to get MAGA in trouble. So then if that's the truth, then why did Trump pardon them?
Insert Napoleon Dynamite clip here. Idiots.
The story is so inconsistent, and based on who you're talking to or what you're talking about, the story changes. And it's there's no consistency. Either they were MAGA or they were Democrats dressed up. If they were Democrats dressed up, then why the hell did Trump pardon them all?
Don't you see? They're Schrodinger's political. They're whatever is best for me at this moment. Whatever's convenient.
Yep.
What's true? You tell me, since you actually know ultimate truth.
I just wanted to point that out because he's the one saying that we know ultimate truth. I've never claimed to know ultimate truth. I know you've never claimed to go ultimate truth. But again, this is just another example of Isaac making shit up. Neither one of us have ever made that argument.
The ultimate truth in my eyes is that Isaac is a dumb fuck.
Yep, I agree.
Nah, see, I keep my focus with God because, see, all these scenarios, all these confusion, what's right? What's wrong? All I know is Jesus Christ is right. Every man a liar and God be true.
Good for you, Isaac.
So, beta male, are you getting your feelings yet out? Did you finally get to have your panties in a bunch and
every
get
single
to
one.
prove that what?
I don't have any panties. I'm just wearing pants.
I mean, you're wearing pants under your pants.
Yes.
Yeah, which is true because you are wearing.
I'm wearing insulated pants right now underneath my pair of pants because it's fucking cold outside.
It is. It is damn cold outside.
But I'm an idiot?
Yes, you are.
That you don't know our history, and for you to name things that you'd have no understanding on, don't stand on it.
Does that make any sense?
No.
What he just said?
Nothing he says seems to make much sense.
No. Like, you have no understanding of it. Don't stand on it. What? And you wonder why people just get so sick of you, Isaac, is because you don't make sense.
You don't know our past. You don't know what we fought for.
Yes, he does, because he's American. We've established that already, you idiot.
You have no understanding. And then your wife tries to say that Canada burnt down the White House and then jokes about it.
I made a joke about a historical fact. The British Army, with the help of hired militia and the indigenous in the area from Upper Canada, did go down into the U.S. and burn down the White House.
And she is 100% right about that. If you do even a cursory look into our history, you'll find a whole context on that one.
Now, granted, he got me on a technicality because, yes, Canada was not yet a country. We did not become a country until 1867. However, the British Army was at war with France at the time, so they did not have enough troops to go down and attack the U.S. because the U.S. declared war in 1812 against the British. So, in order to supplement the army so they had more boots on the ground, they recruited the militia and the indigenous in Upper Canada, the Upper Canadian Territory, and took them down into the U.S. to burn down the White House. Now, these were the people that gave birth to the future Canadians. They were the ones that gave birth to the future generation that first became Canadian in 1867. So they were essentially Canadian because they were born and raised in that area, which was called Upper and Lower Canada at the time. So technically still Canadian, but British subjects because Canada did not have independence yet. So I'm sorry that I did not take the time to fully lay out all the details. I was simply making a joke, but I see now that the joke went completely over your head. I don't deserve the freedoms now.
I also, would just like to point out that you probably, as an American, don't want the smoke from Canada. Because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a lot of the Geneva Convention rules that we have.
Okay, listen, do we need to talk about all the Canada war crimes? Because, that doesn't make us look so good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Canada does not play nice. I just wouldn't step on Canada's toes. That's just what I'm saying, personally.
We unfortunately in the past have done a lot of the war crimes. So yeah, we are known as polite to your face until you make us mad, and then we do not so nice things. And yeah, they had to put a lot of rules in place to keep us in check, apparently.
The Geneva Conventions were written to keep Canada in check.
Who the heck are you? These are people that we've allowed in our country legally to have freedom, and they gloat that they destroyed the White House.
It was a joke, you moron. it just shows that you don't really have a coherent sense of humor, because you laugh awkwardly at things that aren't funny, but then when I make a joke, you take it so seriously enough to say that I don't deserve freedom for it.
And buddy, it's not. We don't have a problem with the United States. We just have problems with people like you.
Yeah, 100%.
Think about that, guys. And then you don't want us to have borders?
Again, like, he's pulling arguments out of his ass that we haven't even talked about. I haven't said on any recent stream that I don't believe in any borders. I know you definitely haven't. So here he is arguing against a point that we never even made. But then he continually calls us stupid and idiots, but he's arguing against himself here because he's assuming what we believe on a topic that he hasn't even asked us about. So, like, I don't really understand this. He makes a point here that I want to address.
Hate us. They've hated our independence for so long. And they're
I don't know why he thinks that we hate independence. Like, what does he think that we want instead of independence? Like, does he think that we want America to become a British colony again? Like, what do you mean with independence?
I don't think he even knows what independence actually means.
Yeah.
In this context, I think he's misusing it.
Yeah, true.
literally trying to take it away.
How are we? So literally means that we're actively doing something or in the process of doing something. So I would like Isaac to take the time to explain how we are literally trying to take independence or freedom away from anyone. Because I guarantee you, he's not going to be able to give an example or any evidence of how we're actually trying to do that, because the simple fact is that we're not.
Hey, but just a small note before you do that, Isaac, you should probably look up what the definition of independence is.
Yeah, 100%.
The only reason they're literally fighting about this is to get people afraid about the law. That's it. We've never had to be afraid of the law. Only until people come in and try to point things out.
So apparently pointing out things that are problematic means that we don't want a country to be independent. So how does that argument make sense? It really does. And like, we've never said that we want people to be afraid of the law or any type of law enforcement or government official. We've never said that. This is just, again, Isaac making an assumption about what we believe rather than asking us.
In fact, I personally believe the exact opposite. I believe that a government should fear its people.
Oh, yeah, 100%, because the government has power because of its people. We put them in those positions with our votes. So, yeah, they should absolutely be terrified of their population because they wouldn't be where they are without it. Right? And why would we want people to be afraid of the law? I personally would love the law to be followed. I would love the Constitution to be followed and respected. And I don't know why Isaac perceives that as a bad thing. So, because he advocates on one hand for, well, people should just follow the law. And then turn around and when I say, well, I would love for people to follow the law, suddenly I don't deserve freedom because I think people should follow the law. Like, it's really difficult to argue against him when he flip-flops on his stance so much.
Oh, yeah. Go into those other bad neighborhoods. You say the police officers are bad out there. Okay, most police officers are afraid to actually come to when there's actually gun violence.
Hold on a second.
You're going to tell me that I don't know.
Pause that again. Because, Isaac, I work in some of the most dangerous fucking cities in this entire country. All right? I used to live in Brooklyn, New York, in one of the most unsafe parts of the entire city. In Baltimore County, which is an area that I used to frequently do installation work in, I interacted with the local community. I used to volunteer in the local community in Baltimore, as well as DC. I never had any problems with those communities because I treated the people there with fucking respect. It's that simple, my man. These communities aren't that dangerous.
The only reason that crime is at a higher rate in most of these areas is because the population density is much higher.
Well, and there's a lot of poverty, and
Yeah.
poverty is one of the leading causes of crime.
But that's that it's part of the environment. It's a thing of the system that unfortunately we live in.
Mhm.
It's not good, and it could be better.
Yep.
That's what we're advocating for, is trying to make the systems better.
So that it benefits all people.
Right.
Of the law, most of them are scared. When the riots were going around, there was people that didn't even want to be police officers anymore. And you're telling me right now that they're out to kill? They're even afraid to protect just because of the fact that they'll be persecuted for doing the wrong when that's what their badge was for.
Then they shouldn't be police officers.
Agreed.
Your job comes with risk. If you're not willing to take on that risk, you shouldn't be a cop.
Yep. It's just like a firefighter. If you're afraid of fires, you shouldn't be a firefighter. Like, there's certain responsibility that comes with that badge. If that is too much for you or makes you too afraid, then you need to find a new career.
And it doesn't give you the fucking excuse to just start shooting civilians because you're a little bit more frightened than normal.
Yes. And I mean, if you're not following the law and you're using that power that you have with that badge to abuse people, then you should 100% be held accountable for that. Just because you have a badge doesn't mean you're immune from consequences of your actions if you're not following the rules and if you're hurting people. I feel like that should be common sense.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, nobody should be held above the law, regardless of who you are.
100%.
How about Canada? How about their rules and regulation? What about their laws? You guys have to abide by that, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Canada has a lot of laws that are very similar to laws in the US. But of course, there's also going to be laws that are very different because it's a completely different country.
Things are happening. Why'd you move away?
I moved away because I moved to the US to be with my husband. Not because I had an issue with Canadian laws or I was being run out of the country or any other nonsense reason. My husband lived in the US. I moved here to be with him. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah, like, Isaac, why aren't you still living at your parents' house? Why aren't you still living at the same place that you were born at?
He might be
The same place you were raised at? Why don't you go back there?
Yeah. But again, he's just making assumptions because he has some convoluted idea that I don't believe in American independence or I want to challenge American independence, even though I have made no such claim, no such argument, and I've never implied that I feel that way about American independence. It's just the fact is that he didn't even ask. He's just assuming what my stance is before even finding out. And I think that's maybe why he thinks that we are making assumptions about him, because he's projecting the fact that he makes so much assumptions about everybody else. So everybody else must be making the same level of assumptions about him. That's the only thing, that's really the only way I can make sense of that. But that just shows his lack of maturity in the fact that he doesn't take the time to actually ask someone what their stance is. He just assumes what that stance is and then goes on a tangent arguing against it while we're just sitting here going, well, I never said that. I don't believe that. But he doesn't bother to inquire.
To take our independence?
No, I'm not trying to take independence. I'm not even exactly sure how one would do that.
Why did Canada have those rules? You can't.
Because just like any other country, they have laws for their people. I mean, again, this is something that should be common sense.
Get mad at us.
If anything,
try to
right
change
now,
our-
the one who's trying to take away independence from somebody else would be the United States trying to take independence away from Canada. So,
And Greenland, and Cuba, and Mexico, and Panama,
Venezuela,
Iran, Gaza.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on of different territories and countries that they've challenged the independence on. So,
But hey, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that.
yeah, I know.
Rules when you don't even understand our concept of religion.
I don't understand your concept of religion. I don't know what he means by that, because
I don't think he understands concept of much.
I don't think he likes to use the word concepts a lot, and he a lot of times will use it in the wrong context. So it's, again, just reiterating the point that he doesn't know how to make a coherent argument and then gets mad at other people when he doesn't make sense. That's his insecurity that he's dealing with there.
Life and the United States of America. You know what that means? Land of the free, home of the brave. You know what it means to be brave? Exactly what I'm doing to you. Laughing at danger when you're sitting here being a beta male.
So you're putting him in danger, baby, and he's being brave by coming on video and challenging your points.
Brother, you're sitting behind a fucking computer. What kind of danger are you in? Wow. That's sad. Hey, look, I would be happy to have a real world conversation with you. If you ever want to come and visit us, I would be happy to have an actual conversation with you.
No,
just be
he's not
prepared
right.
that if you say some of the stupid fucking and arrogant shit that you say to me over video, I will be happy to reach across the table and bitch smack you.
I mean, you can host him on your channel if you want to do that, but he is not welcome here on mine anymore. I've had enough of that. I've had him here twice. That is more than enough for me. But if you want to go at it with him, I will certainly set it up for you, but I'm not going to be involved because he's going to drive me mad. I can't deal with him on a one-on-one basis anymore.
That's understandable.
Oh, here comes your favorite part.
We code a danger. Oh, boots tight, ready to go. Don't sit here and say that you think you know the USA. You have no understanding what patriotism actually is.
Patriotism.
Patriotism. It's patriotism. I can't even get it out because I'm just, oh God.
Patriotism.
Patriotism. There you
Patriotism.
I almost choked on my own words because I couldn't get it out.
My favorite part is he says it more than once in his video.
I know.
And it's like truly how he thinks it's pronounced, apparently.
Yeah. But the point of me pointing out this particular part in his mispronunciation of this word is that words matter, Isaac. They do. And when you pronounce them wrong or you use them in the wrong context, it makes your arguments lose their validity.
Or as I like to say, it makes you look like Isaac.
Yeah, true.
And you don't understand it. Just wait. You think you understand? Wait till it gets called out.
I don't know exactly what he thinks is going to get called out, but you know. I am going to call it here because it is 11:30 and we both do have to work in the morning. So we're going to have to do a part 2 tomorrow. So whether or not you join me, that is completely up to you.
Oh, this is already dredged on far longer than I anticipated it would.
Well, I have a lot of points. I still have like a couple of pages of points that I wanted to address. So if you don't want to join me tomorrow while I go over them, that's totally okay. But
we'll see if I'm in the mood for it. Frankly, I have had my my entertainment value.
Joining us. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I said I've gotten my my entertainment value out of this whole ordeal so far. I feel like at this point it's just like beating a dead horse for me.
Yeah. Well, there is one other particular point that I am really kind of looking forward to bringing up. But he doesn't get into that until later on in the video. So I definitely want to address that point. So I will pick it up tomorrow where we left off. We are at what, 21:32.
Oh my God, we're only halfway through. This is insane.
Less than halfway through. 21:32. Okay. So we will pick this up again tomorrow. But I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, and hey, Isaac, you're welcome for all the new insults that I just taught you how to use. I hope you put them to good use in the future.
Beta.